Hi! For today's conversation section, we are going to learn how to introduce yourself and meet people in Russian. It's extremely basic, plain, and short, but one of the most important and interesting conversation topics, which we are definitely not going to skip. And in this section, I'm not going to waste our time explaining grammar because
Nice.
our main goal is to learn entire phrases and understand how to use them in real life. The other stuff is in my other playlist. Still not that many, but I'm doing my best. Alright guys, let's go and start with the main question of this topic. What is your name? And right from the start, I must draw your attention to the fact that whenever necessary, I will give you two versions of the phrases, the formal one and the informal one. I've already explained the difference between formal and informal speech in a video about greetings in Russian, but let me recap it very briefly for those who are on this channel for the first time. The difference between these two ways of speaking is incredibly important for the Russian speakers. If you ignore it and, for example, always use the informal version of you can ruin a potential relationship right from the start. Because here is the thing, it doesn't matter if you know the person or not. You are only allowed to use informal language with family members, friends, and usually their friends too, like the friend of my friend is also my friend, kids, close colleagues, and people who have given you permission. Informal speech isn't just about knowing someone, it's about how close that person is to you, to your heart, to your mind, and your private life. So, if you are unsure which one is more suitable, it's always better to go with the formal one. People will let you know themselves if it's okay to switch to the informal style. So, let's return to our question, what's your name? In Russian, there is only one natural way to ask this. Как вас зовут? In the formal version and как тебя зовут in the informal one. Literally, this means how are you called? And that's exactly what Russian speakers use. Yeah, sure, there are also two quite weird versions of this question, and the first one is как ваше имя in the formal version or как твое имя in the informal one, along with any other modifications, and this literally means yes, what is your name? But no one uses it, never. It sounds too archaic, and it's used mostly in literature, movies, theater, songs, or on stage where authors want to create a dramatic, historical, or pretentious vibe. But in real life, it sounds weird. And the second one is кто вы in the formal version or кто ты in the informal one.
No!
In English, it literally means who are you, but in Russian, it sounds like who the hell are you? It feels aggressive. It's not about your name, it's about what you, a freaky stranger, are doing here and what do you want from me. That's why to ask for a name, stick to как вас зовут or как тебя зовут. And even then, prefer the formal version because, well, you don't know the person yet. So it's 100% formal case. The exception is if you come to a friend's party with or without vodka, it doesn't matter. And with your friends, you can go with the informal как тебя зовут. Oh, and with kids too, though you probably won't have much reason to do that, right? In any other situations, the informal как тебя зовут sounds bad-mannered, rude, or and this is also important like a sign of flirting. So if you are in a club, dancing and hanging out, and you see a cute guy or girl, you can walk up and say, Привет, как тебя зовут? The person will instantly understand, oh, this guy or girl likes me. So be careful. To say what is your name in Russian, use как вас зовут. Как вас зовут? But if you're hanging out with your bros, you're welcome to use the informal как тебя зовут. Как тебя зовут? If we have a question, we also need an answer. Something like my name is. And here everything is super easy. Yes, there are full versions like меня зовут, literally means I'm called, or мое имя, literally means my name is. But again, this is that poetic, archaic, pretentious stuff. Or simply yeah, this really means I am. The versions меня зовут and я are the most neutral, but sound natural mostly when you introduce yourself in front of a group of people. Hello, my name is Anna and this is my super duper product. Oh, hello, my name is Anna and I'm your new colleague. Or hello, my name is Anna and I haven't had a drink for months. So in public, the full version is the best way to introduce yourself. But face to face, just say your name. Truly, it's more than enough to just say your first name, like a simple Anna. That is always okay in any situation and with anyone. Also, there is no need to give your surname. When people ask you for your name in Russian, they literally mean your first name. Nobody expects your surname. You only needed at official institutions like hospitals, hotels, or the police. But in everyday life, nobody cares about your surname. What's more, it sounds a bit weird if you give your surname right during an introduction. It's kind of a private thing. People in Russia can know each other for years and still not know each other's surnames. But if you're just interested in the words themselves, here they are. First name in singular form имя and in plural form имена. And a surname in the singular form familia and in a plural form familii. And here's one interesting fact. Very often at this stage, people decide yes, they are ready to switch to informal speech. To do this politely, it's better if you are the first to offer the switch. In Russian, you say можно на ты, which means you can use informal you with me, but don't expect the answer to always be a sunny yes. It might be, oh, okay, you can also use informal you with me, but it could be also a very polite no. And this is totally okay. Don't take it personally. It's just a cultural thing. So, to sum it up, face to face, you can give only your first name without any long constructions, but in front of an audience, it's better to use the full version. Меня зовут, or я. Yeah, both options work exactly the same. And what should you do when someone asks for your name? You introduce yourself and you wanna kind of ask the question back, but naturally not like a robot. You can simply repeat the question как вас зовут or как тебя зовут, but adds the letter A at the beginning. А как вас зовут? А как тебя зовут? And shift the emphasis. I mean, you put the stress not on как тебя зовут, как вас зовут, but on the pronoun вас or тебя. А как вас зовут? А как тебя зовут? And that's it. You can use it starting out like almost everywhere when you want to bounce the question back. It works just like in English and how are you? Fine. And you? Same logic, just a different word. And of course, just like in English, you can also shorten things when bouncing questions back. Like in English. What's your name? Anna, and yours? In Russian, it's the same. Как тебя зовут? Anna, а вас? Or а тебя? Or even а как вас? А тебя как? There are a lot of combinations and they all mean the same thing. All thanks to the flexible word order in Russian. We can swap words around without changing the meaning. And this shortened theme works for sure not just for names, but for literally any question where you want to ask it back. But the two main things to remember are the letter A at the beginning and shifting the stress. Everything else is completely up to you. Full version, short version, whatever is just a matter of personal preference. And of course, now we need to look at that pleasant nice to meet you. In Russian, there are three main phrases to say it. Приятно познакомиться, приятно познакомиться. Рад встрече, if you are a man, or рада встрече, if you are a woman, and рад знакомству, if you are again a man, and рада знакомству, if you are again a woman. They all mean the same thing, but приятно познакомиться is the most commonly used one. And surprisingly, here I have absolutely nothing else to add. But here I have, and that is a response to nice to meet you, which is English sounds you too. In Russian, we have also kind of our own version, мне тоже, which literally means me too. You know, it's always confusing for Russian speakers learning English to find out that here we go in completely opposite directions. In English, it's you too. In Russian, it's me too. But that's because in the English phrase nice to meet you too, the focus is on the words meet you too. The action of meeting you is the main part. But in the Russian logic, мне тоже is short from for me. It's also nice to meet you. The focus is on for me, my own feelings as the main part. That's why we use opposite verbs to express the same idea. The second way to say you too, me too is the word взаимно. Which means likewise. Russian speakers use this word in almost any situation where they want to mirror someone's words or wishes back to them without repeating the whole damn sentence. Like, if someone says, I wish you all the best, instead of repeating it, you just say взаимно. And it works in both positive and negative cases. Not only when someone says something nice, but also when someone tells you, fuck you, пошел нахуй, you can say взаимно. But the most important thing I wanted to tell you is that it's completely up to you whether to respond to nice to meet you with «мне тоже взаимно» or not. Russian speakers sometimes don't use them at all and just dive straight into the conversation. So you can either say «мне тоже взаимно» or you can skip this part. Both options are totally fine. And don't be confused if you don't hear a classical response to your «приятно познакомиться» and instead the person immediately asks, «Well, John, so what do you do for a living?» And now here is a summary table with all the things you need to know to introduce yourself in Russian. Feel free to screenshot and use it. Next time we will continue our vocabulary section with all the ways to say goodbye in Russian. But for today that's all, and I hope this little lecture was useful or at least entertaining for you. See you next time here on the same channel with another video and with your teacher Anna. See you! До встречи!